Alright gang, so here's what we got. Today I'm going to show you how to brew a batch of extract beer. So I got my brew pot here. I've got 3 gallons of water in there, heated up by the propane tank. I'm going to have to add 3 more gallons to this, which will make 6 gallons total, because it's going to be a 5-gallon batch, and a gallon of it will end up burning off as we cook it. We'll come over here, and right there is the fermenting bucket. It's just a 5-gallon bucket. And we'll get to that at the end. But as far as all the grains and things go, we got some caramel, which is going to give it a red color and kind of a toasty flavor, a little bit of sweetness. Got some Vienna malt. We're going to make this easy today, and this is going to be an extract brew. So we got some Golden Light dry malt extract, some amber malt, which is going to give it the red color and some sweetness. We're going to be using, the hops we're going to be using is some Cascade and some U.S. Goldings. The corn sugar is going to be for bottling, but that's not for a couple weeks yet. We're going to have a half a cup of brown sugar. Let me see, back over here was the yeast. We're going to use Nottingham dry yeast. Like I said, we're keeping it easy today. And then the big special ingredient, 35 red fish. That's right, 35 Swedish fish. That's the special ingredient. When you make beer, it's just a rule that you have to drink beer. So I'm going to start off today from a local North Carolina brew, Red Oak from Whitsett, North Carolina. Now, as you can see, what I've done was taken the Vienna malt and the caramel malt, and I put them into a steeping bag. And you can see it's steeping down at the bottom. Now what that does is the warm water will draw out all the sugar and the color from the grain, and that'll start turning the beer a certain color. So it's kind of neat to always see how that works. But it takes all the sugar out, and that's what eventually gets fermented. Alright, so what I've done now is added the other 3 gallons of water, and you can see the steeping bag is still steeping. We'll let that go on for a good 30 minutes or so. And I'll kind of shake up that bag of grain every now and then, but you can already see how dark the beer's getting. Kind of cool. While we're waiting on the beer, I can show you the neighborhood. This is the woodsy area by my house. Neighbors across the street. Nice sunny day. Gonna be about 80 degrees today. And then this brat right here, my sweetie pie, my daughter Caden. So it's been about 30-40 minutes or so. The water is starting to churn a little bit, not quite boiling at all, but we're going to go ahead and get ready to add the amber malt extract and the Golden Light, and we'll do that, and hopefully it'll be boiling in a little bit. And here goes the malt extract. I've been thinking, just on a whim, maybe I'll add this mango nectar. I only had a little bit of it left. Why not? Make it sweet, right? So I took the bag of grains that had been steeping, and I put them into this bucket, and they're going to continue to drain off for a little bit, and I'll add that back to the brew pot. And now you can see here that my brew pot, after adding the malt extract and everything, it's starting to stir up and get boiling. Pretty soon it'll be time to get ready to add the hops to it, and that'll start the bittering process. Alright, so what I've done is I've opened up the Cascade hops, and I put them right here in this little bowl. Now looky there, look like little rabbit pellets. And if you like your beer strong, then you get stronger type hops. The alpha number on here is what tells you how strong the hop is and how bitter it'll make the beer. Anyway, I don't think I'd feed that to a rabbit though. They'd probably turn their ears inside out. Alright, so I've taken about 3/4 of the Cascade hops and I'm going to pour those into the beer. That'll brew like that for about, I'm going to put this in for probably almost a full length of time, so for like a full hour. I'll add the other hops later. Those are going to be used for floral reasons and kind of just a little bit of bittering at the end, kind of a little added bite at the end. But these will kind of go in now, and what it'll do is it'll start to bitter up the beer. I have to say, that is one smell that you just don't get tired of. If you like beer, it's just got a certain smell to it when the hops start cooking in there. It's really neat. It smells good. You can see it all fall, those little pellets falling apart. And that'll bitter the beer. Bitter the beer. Oh, let's look at the fridge. What do we got? Beer, 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 some soda, Clamato juice. I like that in beer sometimes. We gotta be healthy, so silk almond milk, more beer. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Let's get this. Jade IPA from Foothills Brewery in Winston-Salem. Good stuff. What's playing on the boombox? Oh, don't look at my mess. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. There's a good boil going on. That's right, good boil. You're such a good boil. Better than being a bad boil. Golding's hops, which is going to kind of be floral and add some floral notes to the beer. Whew, that smells good. My daughter tried a hop a minute ago and she almost choked on it. She said it was too bitter. All right, we got about 20 minutes to go. Brown sugar! That's right. Rolling Stones will be happy about that.
I'm drunk.
All right, time to put in the last remaining hops. And then I got to put my chiller in there. Get it ready. When this is all done, I use the chiller to cool down the beer as fast as I can so we can get it in the fermenter. Okay, the brewing process is all finished. Now what we've done is we've put our chiller in there. We've got it hooked up to the water hose, the spigot outside. We cool down, it's going to run cold water through that copper wire and it's going to cool down the beer as fast as we can. And then there's a line that runs outside, as you can see, and all the water comes out right there. Kind of interesting the way it works. Anyway, we cool it down and then we'll go ahead and get it ready for adding the yeast for fermentation. Alright, as you can see, there's the leftover hops that are in there. I think I even see part of a red Swedish fish. But what I did was I drained the bucket out through that strainer and all the contents went into the bottling bucket. I think I made a mistake and said the bottling bucket. Actually, it's the fermenting bucket. That's what I've got. And so I put that in ice. And what that'll do is it'll cool it down extra quick. Aside from using my chiller, I put it in some ice. Want the temperature to get down as quick as I can. And then I'll take a gravity reading. And then from the gravity reading, we add the yeast in, and it'll start the fermentation process. And that'll take about 2 weeks or so. And really, that's the day of brewing right there. I'll show you when I do when I add the yeast and we start the fermentation stuff, but that'll be just about done. All right, so here's the beer. It's down to 70 degrees. You can see it in the bucket there. I'm going to take it and I'm going to fill up a beaker full of fluid, and we're going to check it out and see what the gravity is. Here's my yeast in that, and it's going into the beer. Now I've taken my sample and I put in my hydrometer and I check it out. I let it spin and I check where the reading is. And I checked it a few minutes ago, and my hydrometer reading said 1052. So that lets me know how much gravity is in the beer. I've added an airlock right there to the 5-gallon bucket, and as the yeast starts to ferment, that will start to bubble. And it'll sit like that for 2 weeks. And after the bubbling's done, the fermenting's done, we'll take it and we'll bottle it up. And that's sort of the process.